With the recent 2025 Superman movie, I wanted to give some of my thoughts and personal opinions regarding it and what LEGO should not have done regarding their sets and if they should have produced any. Short answer is yes. But this video will have some spoilers for the movie, and I hope you guys enjoy my conversation. And if you guys have any other opinions, please drop them in the comments because I would definitely love to get to talking to you guys about it. So, first of all, what I think about the movie. I thought this was a very good return to form in the DC universe, and after everything that happened with Snyder's version, which I personally didn't have any major problems against regarding overall. I wasn't a Snyder fan. I definitely am a big, more lighthearted superhero fan, and I enjoy the classic stories and Superman as he was presented in this movie versus um, Henry Cavill's version in Man of Steel. I feel like this version of the character was way truer to Superman, especially that scene where he saves the squirrel while fighting that giant kaiju, or that notorious scene where he's rising above the ashes after he just saves that woman from a car. Um, from a building falling on her. Overall, I really enjoyed that part of the movie. His character, I mean, and I also love the supporting cast. Green Lantern was absolutely hilarious. Mr. Terrific was awesome, especially his own little arc that he had with Lois, and the fight scene was great. Um, James Gunn really knocked it out of the park overall with the film, and I thought it was very entertaining to watch, and it did feel like there was a lot crammed into the movie, but overall, it was definitely a good start to the new DCU, and it felt consistent. And I would personally give it a 10 out of a 10, a 10 out of 10. That was the best Superman and superhero movie in general that I've watched in a long time. And the only criticism that I had plot wise is it felt like after every serious moment in the film, they had to like ease the tension with a joke or two. Um, like one part that particularly stood out to me was at the end of the film after Superman gives his little speech to Lex regarding being a human, which that was a phenomenal speech, by the way. Um, I loved that because it also just felt like Superman and the Superman that I know from the comics and the one I grew up with. And I loved that. But one thing I didn't enjoy as much was the joking, like I said. So that speech was great, but then immediately after Lex like curses Superman, then Crypto comes out of left field and just tackles Lex to the ground and starts eating on him. And it kind of just ruined the tension in the moment, or not tension. It ruined the emotional impact of what Superman kind of said to an extent. But regardless, I still loved the film. Like that was a 10 out of 10. That was the best film I've seen this year personally. And it's probably the best film superhero wise that I've enjoyed since Endgame. So I personally really did like it. Um, some other things to discuss are sets that I think that they should have made. I think to start off with, I'll do 5 sets that I think they should have made just off the top of my head. Um, I think as a small set for the wave, if they wanted to do like a cheaper set, they could do a mech for the Hammer of Bravia with Ultraman and Superman. A nice little set to get people into it. I would love that. And also with the David Cornsweet, I think is his name, said that he wanted Lego to make sets. So I really hope, even if they're late, that Lego tries to make something for the new film, especially with how successful it's been at the box office. But like I said, that little set with the Hammer of Bravia, I would like maybe a $30, $40 set of the prison that had Superman, maybe Morphing Man in that set. Yeah, I would put Morphing Man in that one. And then I would do probably some of the guards, like 2, and then have Morphing Man and his kid, And then you could put Superman in that set too. I think that wouldn't be bad at all for a set. Then around $70 to $80, maybe 100. I'd say 100. I would do LexCorp, and yeah, I think that'd be a good set. And then I'm trying to think. I wish they could do the conflict in Bravia with Green Lantern, Hawk Girl, and Morphing Man, or Metamorpho, I think is his name. But the only problem with that is obviously it's like tank based and there's military units. And I don't know if Lego would do that today. Granted, in Man of Steel, they did have the set with the military Jeep and the general, but I don't know if they would put like, well, and we also had the Indiana Jones set with the plane, so maybe they would do that. If they did, I would love to have like a small tank and a few soldiers, and then have Green Lantern and Hawk Girl in that set, and then do your biggest set of the way be LexCorp with Lex Luthor, his girlfriend. Also put Ultraman in that, but maybe like a better version of Ultraman. Um, Superman, Crypto. Who else could you put in there? Maybe just re-include Mr. Terrific. Speaking of that, another set they should make is Mr. Terrific's plane, and just put Mr. Terrific, Lois, Jimmy Olsen, and I think that'd be pretty solid. Obviously, I don't think this wave would happen, and obviously with how Lego's treated DC Comics recently, I don't think anything besides Batman is getting a lot of sets or attention at all. Maybe unless Superman proves them wrong with how good it's been doing. But I think if they made those sets, they would sell incredibly well. Maybe not even do all of them, just knock it down a few to like 3. But regardless, I think the film, it was a major missed opportunity from Lego, and the fact that the only thing we have from Superman is the little mech with Lex Luthor is kind of sad at the moment, because he's one of the biggest icons of superheroes of all time. And I know that Marvel and DC both have been kind of like declining in terms of how Lego's been treating them, besides some of like the D2C stuff with like the Avengers Tower and the X Mansion. But if they could potentially revive some of the popularity of DC, I think that this movie is the film to do that. And I feel like if they released sets within the next year and a half, they would still sell really well. Thank you for listening to my little rant, and if you guys agree, disagree, have any other opinions, please do leave them in the comments, because I'd definitely love to hear what you have to say. Thank you.